This is where I think, excuse me, if the recording's a little weird, my recording kind of just it shot out on me for a second. But this is where I think thinking about your business, thinking about your notary business as an actual business that you have to go out and acquire clients is really helpful for notaries to think about. And I think there's three, or for me, what's worked in the past is three key ways on acquiring clients so that you still can have a steady stream of income coming in and a steady stream of clients, as well as getting the assignments, excuse me, getting the assignments from, like a SnapDocs or signing order or what have you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use the whiteboard now, and this is where I'm kind of going to come from. So previously, what I've done in the past is I built a, I use a platform called Fiverr. Excuse me, I use a platform called Fiverr. And what I did is I just reached out to a couple of people on Fiverr and I said, hey, can you build me a list of whoever I want to reach out to? So say I wanted to reach out to estate attorneys because I wanted to focus on more estate signings. I feel like, I feel like estate signings would be a bit more high ticket for me. And if I can get a couple of those per week and a certain amount per month, a certain amount per month, excuse me, along with the loan signings, then I can actually increase my cash flow. So if we're talking about, and then Fiverr, you have to front up some cash for Fiverr, but it's a super minimal cost. I'm talking about you can get a list of leads from Fiverr. Just for example, I asked somebody on Fiverr to build me a list of a hundred estate attorneys in in a certain state, and she built me the list, added on 30 extra people on there, added on 30 extra businesses, and she did it for $30. For $30. I got a list of 100 people, 100 businesses that have multiple people working for them for $30, 135 businesses that have multiple people working there for $30. And now, if you take the time over the next week or so to actually call up all 100 of those businesses, I don't think there's any way, I don't think there's any way that you're not going to get business from at least one of them. From 135 people for $30. I don't think if you reached out to every single one of them and you gave them a great offer about what you are offering and what service you're providing, and I'm sure most of them already know what's going on because they do this on a regular basis. They may have in-house or they may contract out and they just may need more help or they have overflow. I don't think there's any way that you're not going to acquire one client from that list, and I think $30 being a part of your overhead expense to be able to get that large of a list when you don't have to scour Google for all of those businesses and do all the extra work. That, if you could just take the time, a couple hours out of your week or each day out of the week and call up 10 to 20 businesses at a time, take some notes on them and make sure you know exactly what's going on if you have to follow up, if they like your offer and you have to call back. So I think Fiverr and one of my mentors who I'm actually going to be having on in a couple of days, he recommended Fiverr to me, and that was a really successful thing for him in the past. So I think having that is going to be really great. So Fiverr is the first part, using the platform Fiverr. Excuse me if that's backwards, but no, it's not backwards. Fiverr would be fantastic. Now, and then that's going to, you have to front a little bit of money there. But I mean, coming into this business or being in it for a while now, you know that you have to front a little bit of money. You have to front a little bit of money to make sure that excuse me, to make sure that you have business coming in. Now, another thing that I did for my business, especially after I had it up running, was run Google Ads. Now, this is going to be a bit more upfront cost, but in terms of bringing people into your business, this is going to have a huge ROI for you. and um, depending on who you're reaching out to and where your ads are reaching. But when I had my Google, when I finished my Google listing and Google business profile, I started running ads for just about a week or so. So I'd make sure my name got up there, or make sure my name got out there, and where people are searching for a notary near me, or mobile notary, or whatever may have you, my name is one of the first ones popping up. And as soon as I started running those ads, I saw tremendous, uh, I saw a tremendous amount of people calling in my business. I had a Google business number, which is a free resource you can utilize on your Google page. And people were calling my number left and right. Hey, I need a notarization. Can you do this today? And now some people, and I talk about this on my videos too. Some people, a lot of people, they want like free business. They want free service. And when you're telling your price, you may get a lot of, oh, that's okay. We'll call you back, or okay, let me go check with my spouse or whatever. And, that's fine. If they expect a free service, or if that's what they're looking for, then fine. We're not going to compromise for that, because we know the kind of service that we're providing for folks, and we want to make sure that we are being compensated for that value and service as well. If I'm doing a power of attorney for someone, if I'm doing a power of attorney for someone and I have to go to a hospital and someone's on their deathbed, um, we shouldn't be providing that as a free Good Samaritan service. You know, if they didn't have that in place, if they don't have that in place, let's say if someone doesn't have a power of attorney in place, they are going to have major financial repercussions for not having in place than paying whatever your price is to have it notarized and executed properly. So just think about it like that too. So I always tell clients or potential clients your prices, and don't flinch. Just tell people your prices and shut up. Oh, that's great. I'll be over in 10 minutes. Okay, fantastic. I'll see you then. So just make sure you have a payment processor ready to go. Or if you take Zelle or however you take it, then that's another thing. So I'd say two would be Google Ads, which is a bit more money up front, but in terms of bringing people into your business, and for me personally, I got a bunch more general notary work from doing this. So this was like the less than 5-page documents. I wasn't having estate attorneys reach out to me, or escrow officers reach out to me. They go through other channels to get people like us, which I'll get to in a moment as well. But another really big thing Google Ads did for me was, as every time I met with a client, I would say, "Hey, it really helps me out as a business if you leave a Google review, so other people like you, when they look me up and they say this person, and they look at me and say this person is credible, they're timely, their service was great, they were super kind. It helps me out as a business to be able to continue to provide this service for people. Would you mind leaving me a Google review?" Most of the time, they'll do it right there. It'll take 2 minutes, and then you have another 5-star review. And the more reviews you can accumulate on Google, the more you're going to pop up first for people. I believe the more, you'll have better SEO kind of ratings in there and everything, and the more your business looks credible. So I think you have kind of a double whammy there. And I wouldn't say run ads for forever. Um, I wouldn't say run ads for forever. I'd say run them for maybe a week at a time, set your budget accordingly. And I think you'll be able to see that you will get an influx of clients from just making sure that your business is out there. Because I think another thing that we forget as notaries is people don't know we exist until they need us. People don't know we exist until they need us. So we have to make sure that people know we're there, and that we provide a great service for people. So Google Ads is the next thing, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is going to be a bit more work on our part, but it's just kind of just cold outreach to folks, like cold outreach to places like escrow officers and title companies. and things notaries already do, right? So this is going to be cold outreach. This is going to be cold outreach. Now, cold outreach, like I was saying before, let's say you're going through a document package and you have some questions. You're scanning documents back and you're looking through everything. You're like, man, like, what's going on here? I have questions. I want to get more direct work from title companies. I think the easiest thing to do, I think the easiest thing to do is look on the document package, look who the title company is. It'll most likely have the company name, the business address, maybe even a phone number, and if you can find an escrow officer on there too, that'd be even more perfect. I would say look up who the title company is, call them, and say, hey, I had a couple questions on the, I'm the notary who just did the signing. I had a couple questions on XYZ. Would you mind taking maybe 30 minutes out of your day if you had time today or tomorrow to kind of show me what's going on? And honestly, escrow officers love hearing that because a lot of notaries don't, they're not proactive in that way. You know, a lot of them, you don't hear from escrow officers until there's like a mistake in the document package. Hey, we need you to redo this. We need you to re-sign this. There wasn't a stamp here or initial there. And now it's like, okay, I don't, the escrow officer is reaching out to you because there is a mistake. But if you as a notary are reaching out to the escrow officer, like, hey, how do I how do I go through this so I don't make a mistake? They're gonna say, oh, this is great. I would like they'll probably talk your ear off like, hey, I find that notaries miss this part. There's initials on this page. And so you're building credibility in their head and you're building trust as well. And then at the end of the conversation, you can always slip in because you've built more credibility now and more trust. Hey, I know you guys work with XYZ signing service company. If you guys have, a more remote signing or you have something last minute, I can go through this package a lot better than maybe some of the other people that you've spoken to before. If you need a notary, to do those kind of things, you can always use me. You can use my business. And since you've already established the trust and credibility doing that, I think that's a great way to, I think that's a great way to do your cold outreach. So you're not just, and the Fiverr is the cold outreach as well, because you still have to call and reach out to those title companies or escrow, or excuse me, estate attorneys or what have you. But I think uh, the cold outreach for looking at the document package and finding the title company and just coming in it with curiosity, I think that makes it a bit more warm, you know? Because you're tied to what they're doing in some way. Hey, I was a notary who did this execution on this loan package. I had a couple of questions. If you lead with curiosity and not with like, hey, I'm a notary, do you want to use me for future business? They're gonna be like, no, no, it's cool. Like just put yourself in their shoes. um so I think I'm gonna leave it there for now. And I think there's a lot more when it comes to when it comes to the document outreach. That's been a real successful piece on my part. So let's say like I'm on SnapDocs, I'm on signing order, I'll just see who the escrow officer is and I'll call them up, say, hey, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. I had a couple of questions. And if you're leading with curiosity and just staying humble, a lot of times they'll be more than willing to talk to you and sometimes talk your ear off. And to, that just opens the door for you to be able to solicit yourself and solicit your business more than just being like, hey, I'm a notary. I live in such XYZ city. I'm available these times. Would you want to work with me? It's like, if you got that call, how would you respond? You know? So I think so. I'm gonna wrap it up. Um, so there are two major problems that notaries have been going through, and I've went through these as well. Understanding documents and getting clients, and I think there's two pretty practical paths to move forward if you're in those positions. Getting great at just understanding the documents, it makes you trustworthy, it makes you reliable. Like I said, all you have to do is take 15 to 30 minutes and look through a document set, understand what's going on, and then call and ask questions. and then getting creative about how you acquire clients and customers. It makes you indispensable wherever you're at. I've been a notary in 3 different states. I'm a military spouse. I've been a notary in 3 different states. I'm about to move to another state and be a notary in a fourth state. So the way you get clients, it makes you indispensable, and that creativity will keep your business alive. So if today helped you guys at all, stay tuned for the live. I'm going live with the owner of Stamper Signings. His name is Rafaniel. He's going to break down how signing service agencies, how they really look for notaries and how they vet notaries, and give you guys a more behind the scenes look on what it's like being a signing service owner and how they get clients as well. If you haven't yet, go ahead and watch the audio recording with Roberta, the senior escrow officer. And just to recap this, these are going to be these are going to be paid options here. This is going to be like paid outreach, and this right here is going to be free. So Fiverr and Google Ads, you have to pay to get those out or bring those in. And then the Google or the cold outreach from documents, that's going to be free. I mean, you have if I save all of my document packages and everything like that, and I make sure I'm insured for that as well. But I can go back and look, hey, or I can go back on SnapDocs and see whatever package I did recently and pull the document set and find whatever title company did that and call them and lead with curiosity. Um, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, you're not going to lose because you're doing things bad or incorrectly. You're only going to lose if you stop playing and if you quit. So thank you guys very much for joining on. Come to the live this Friday. It's going to be with Rafaniel. Hope to see you guys there. I appreciate every one of you for watching. Thank you.